Welcome back, everyone. So wrapping up Digital Learning Day here in Chesterfield. We made it. A total of 16 presentations. This is number 16 coming up, and it sure is a doozy. It's talking about a really popular concept in schools right now called breakouts, and we're going to talk to Sam Wilkinson over at Bailey Bridge Middle School on how to make those breakouts digital by using Google Sites.
Yep. If you are tuned in live, if it is after school and you're excited to learn something new and you want to interact with Sam during her presentation, if you go to bit.ly/DLDCCPS, all lowercase, that will take you to our EdTech Hub site. If you scroll to the very bottom, there's Sam's section, and there is a feedback document there and a back channel. So if you open up the back channel, if you have any questions or wonders for Sam throughout, you can type them in. She'll either address them at the end, or if she runs out of time, she can address them after the fact. And also, if you're tuning in right now, but you've been teaching all day, you didn't get a chance to tune in before, and you want to check out what other awesome professional development has gone on today, this is your one-stop shop. We've been uploading the videos all day as they've been coming in. So this is really the place to go for any CCPS Digital Learning Day resources.
All right. So over to Bailey Bridge Middle with Sam and Digital Breakouts. Take it away, Sam.
Hi, this is Sam Wilkinson. I am an English and social studies teacher at Bailey Bridge Middle School. I discovered Google Sites and breakout boxes at a professional development this summer and completely and totally fell in love with them. So I've been working really hard this year and building my own and learning different ways that I can use them. I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen now so that you guys can see what I am working on. There are many, many, many ways to use Google Sites. There's simple ways and there's more complex ways. The one thing I want to show first, if you want to make a Google site, just go over to your Google Drive. Hopefully you can see my screen. Click the blue New button. And if you just head on down to More and then go to Google Sites. If you haven't looked at Google Sites lately, I highly recommend that you do. The old Google Sites was really clunky and I found it really not user-friendly. And the new Google Sites, I feel like, is much, much more user-friendly. And because of that, my mind has continued to buzz with different ways that I can use it, from really simple ways to really complicated ways. When you're looking at Google Sites, this is what you'll see first. This is a brand new one. And it's pretty interactive. You can change the title just like you can with a Google Doc. And once you change the title, it'll appear here as well. Over here on the right-hand side, you have a kind of a toolbar. You can also add different pages. So if you don't want just one web page, you can use many. You can check out themes. This kind of stuff you can kind of play around with. To add things onto your Google site, what you have to do is click one of these buttons, or you can double-click wherever you want to, and this fun little wheel pops up. And the world really is your oyster. There's almost everything you can think of that you might want to throw into your Google site. You can upload a video from YouTube. You can upload an image from your computer. You can search Google through this when you try to add an image. You can add in things from your drive that you have built in other areas in Google Suite. You can embed links to other websites. There's just a ton you can do with it. I have been using it this year a lot for breakout boxes. I've also started using it just to make simple worksheets that I've already kind of been using and make them more fun and interactive. You can use it as a storage. I've talked to a couple people in my PLC about possibly combining resources for units and just making like a context clues web page for our PLC that would hold all the resources that we need, so that's all in one place, but also that'd be a really great resource to give students. We were actually just talking today about building a whole one for like an SOL review where the students can get all of their resources in one place. I think once you start playing around with it, your mind will kind of take you where it wants to be. So just to show something simple first, this is a simple one that I did for my students. Again, I'm English and social studies, so I have combined forces with those two subjects in a lot of areas. This is a worksheet that dealt with lyrics from a song from Hamilton. So it works on inferencing and context clues in English while also bringing in some of the Revolutionary War intro we were working on in social studies. When you're building it, this is what you'll see on your end. So you still have all your toolbars and everything on the sides and at top. You can preview it, and I'll go ahead and do that now so you can see what the kids would see. I just sent them the link. I posted the link on Google Classroom. They were able to pull all this up. We went down and I put the song in here. Sometimes this works on the student's end, sometimes it doesn't, but it's at least in one spot for me. So when I pulled this up to show them what we were going to be doing, I could just pull up the video right there. We listened to the song first, and then they were able to, right here, all in one spot, instead of having 2 links or 2 worksheets, it's all built together so that you can just place a Google form in here. And I did this again by just clicking the wheel, and I went for my drive. So I could go to my drive, and then I could search for the document I wanted. Tyler Sisters. And there's the Google form, and I could just put that in there. And then it's similar to any other Google form. So if you have used this before for assessment, I made an answer sheet and everything was all ready to go so they could take it, and then I could assess it very quickly and easily. It's a quick 10-question quiz that worked on both English skills and also social studies skills that we've been working on in both classes. This type of Google site took about 5-10 minutes. It's super simple. It really just was copying and pasting. I did add line numbers. I added a picture. And again, it's just more interesting and interactive than here's your worksheet for today. The breakout boxes get a little bit more complicated. But starting small is probably a good idea. You can kind of start putting the pieces together. This is one, and I actually did this with my English class today for Digital Learning Day. Kind of walk you through a few of the things that go on with a digital breakout box. It is easy to get intimidated by this, but it's actually very simple once you kind of start getting the hang of things. And your tech integrator is a wonderful resource, as are any teachers that are tech savvy that might have done this before. So I'm going to show you again what the kids see first. So I'm going to go ahead and hit preview. I have included links to both this site and also the other one that I built so you can see it. And of course, it's not going to work right now. Let's see if I can try that again. Try a different way. Yay. Okay. And I just put them in groups and let them have at it. They've done one other one for me before. So the first one I made a little bit simpler than this. Things you want to think about when you're building a breakout box. You want to think about your learning targets. What do you want the kids to get out of it? Do you want to use it as an introductory lesson, or do you want to use it as a review? Do you want to use it as student-led learning? There's a lot of different things you could do with it. You kind of have to map that out first. I say all that, though, and this breakout box was originally going to be something totally different. And as I started working on it, it changed, kind of like writing a novel. The characters took me in a different place. The breakout box took me to a different place. It was originally just going to be root words and end up being more nonfiction. As I explored resources, I kept getting ideas of different things that I wanted to do. I also recommend, if you have a lot of pathways, like one thing leading to another thing, to keep track of those. Makes it a little bit easier, especially as you're going around to help students later. I also recommend, once you have it built, to have a colleague check it and see if they can solve it to make sure you didn't leave out anything. The first thing that goes in a breakout box is, well, your title. And then I usually put a Google form at the top. The kids can pop this out. I usually encourage the kids to have 2 Chromebooks, one with the breakout box and one with this page, so they don't have to keep going back and forth. They end up having a lot of tabs open by the end of it. The locks, Google form, super simple. Set it to short answer over here on the side. And then when you do that, down here with the 3 little dots, you have the option to do response validation, which means they have to get the exact right answer when they type in their short answer, or it will give them an error message. So for example, this one, the code was Zooks. but if they didn't use all capital letters, it wouldn't work. And once they use all capital letters, it works. They don't get an error message and they can move on, and they all go, woohoo, I got the first lock. And they're very excited. The level of engagement with the breakout boxes is amazing. I have a co-taught class and a C-level class, and both classes have done really well with this. Even the kids who usually are like hanging back, trying to hide, get out of doing work, they get into it for the most part. It is a lot of hands-on from you, just walking around, monitoring, making sure, dropping hints, especially groups that are a little farther behind. I usually do little shout outs when one group gets a lock. Say, well, yay, the first group got the first lock, and that motivates them to kind of hurry up and keep going. And then I set it up. You can do two ways. I put it all on one page. You can also use the little page tabs over here. You can add pages, so you could have one lock on each page. I like to just have it all together, especially I teach 6th grade, and they have a hard enough time finding all the things they need on one page, let alone giving them multiple pages. So this was lock 1, and I just used tools and I had stuff for them. They had to pop out. Actually, I'm going to skip lock 1 because I really, really like lock 3. Lock 3, and I'm running out of time. Lock 3 was a reading passage. Same thing they have to do in class anyway. They're working on context clues. I did do some underlining and stuff, which gets a little tricky because technically you can't underline font on Google Sites, but you can copy and paste underlined font from somewhere else and put it in there. So that was a little workaround I did. They pop out this little answer sheet, and they figure out the answers. And you'll notice that each answer has a little code in parentheses. Once they figure out the answers, they scroll down, click on the context clue in the passage to help you figure out what mundane means. When they click on that, they get to another page. So let me find mundane real quick. There we go. I had a secret. I changed the context clue into a hyperlink so that they could, when they clicked on those words, it took them to here. And then if they take their answers, type it in, they could type it into the piano. So the first one was B3. So they type B3. Oops. Oh, sorry, C4. I read the wrong thing. And it turns green if they got it right and puts it down here. And then this will send them to another website that had another code. And then that sent them to another website that had another code. And you just keep building things in. There's a lot of really fun tools that you can use. And the other thing, and I know I'm running out of time, I want to show you real quick, is the response validation. Or, sorry, the conditional formatting in Google Sheets, which is super fun, and it's my favorite thing to do in here, and the kids love it. And you can actually use it just for regular worksheets also, and I've done that as well, just building a quick one. So basically, in response validation, I'm going to skip some of these steps. They would have had to find some specific wording to find this. When they type in the right answer, same. They have basically the conditional formatting changes other boxes based on what certain cells have in them. This is actually using an if-then formula. So if B5 says the word same, then what will appear on the side? The word what. So they can see immediately if they got the right answer. And I love this in the piano also for like simple worksheets that are multiple choice that they're doing anyway. They could quickly find out in a more fun and interesting way if they got the right answers. And if they didn't, then they can go back real fast and figure that out. So I think that's about all I have. Trying to make sure I didn't forget anything. I don't see any questions. I did make a PowerPoint that should be linked in my session that has all of this information. It goes into a little bit more detail about stuff. And it's got the links to this breakout box, a breakout box for social studies that works with colonies, and also just the simple Schuyler Sisters worksheet so you can kind of see. And really, I didn't memorize all these formulas. I just clicked on one in another breakout box and I copied and pasted it and made it work for me. So I don't see any questions. So I'm assuming I don't have any, and hopefully that's it. And I'll give it back to Catherine and Chris.
All right, thank you so much, Samantha. That was an excellent presentation, a wealth of resources there to build your own digital breakout. Thank you for sharing that. And like you said, that I like how you're cross-curricular already because you do English and social studies, so it could easily be applied to other subjects as well. So,
and I highly suggest you go to the EdTech Hub and check out all of Sam's resources because she linked in a lot of resources there for you to get started. So she gave you a wealth of information.
So that's it for us for CCPS Digital Learning Day 2018. But remember, you don't have to just wait for Digital Learning Day to do anything digital. Every day can be Digital Learning Day.
Yes, I'm going to put in one last plug for bit.ly/DLDCCPS. We have now linked up all of the videos from today, so you can go back at any time and learn and try some new things out in your classroom. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. Bye.
Bye.